What's up guys, Ronaldo here, and I'm currently here at the Forerunner, and there is an absolute menace of a unit here coming up. A new chaotic lord named Valderon, and he looks amazing and he's a menace. I just read through his kit more or less so I can explain to you what he does, and let me tell you guys, this guy is I don't know, is the Praetus of chaotic. He seems to be absolutely crazy like this. Oh yeah, what are you doing, Moonton? And you will see how crazy exactly he is when we go through his kit real quick. So let's go over his Lord skill first, and then we start with his abilities, because his Lord skill alone is already out of the world. I don't know what's going on, guys. But yeah, have a look here. So basically, he increases the damage of his ally up to 60%, depending on their HP lost. So a big damage increase, and then a 15% basic attributes increase. Nothing special, right? But he, on top of that, has some ridiculously egoistic buffs for himself as well. Because why not? Why not be a lord for chaos and also a lord for himself on top of being a lord, basically? I don't know how to explain it, but let's hear me out. So basically, when the faction lord Valderon is deployed, deals damage equal to 50% of the current HP to 3 nearest units, excluding bosses and elites. So that's nothing special. But now we get to the juice. And he also increases his own damage dealt by 30% and reducing his damage received by 20%. Yeah, on top of that initial bonus that he already brings. He boosts himself up like crazy. And that's not all. Each unit damaged further increases Valderon's damage dealt by 5% and reduces his damage received by 5% up to 3 times. So basically, next to his Lord skill, he will, on top of that, so he will get a 60% damage increase. On top of that, he will get a 30% damage increase. And on top of that 30% damage increase, he can get up to another 15% damage increase. Yeah. And on top of that, he will have a 20% damage reduction and can even get up to 35% damage reduction. Guys, and look at his stats real quick. 6.6k, 29k HP, 29k HP, right? A 35% damage reduction, basically. The best tank set currently gives us a 15% damage reduction, and it's so strong, that 15%. I don't even know what's going on right now, honestly. I don't know what's going on, but it seems ridiculous. And that's just the Lord skill on its own. Now let's get into his talent. Basic attack has at least a 25% chance to trigger chaotic annihilation instead. A lower HP grants a higher chance to trigger chaotic annihilation, reaching its maximum chance of 50% when HP falls below 30%. Yeah, and the chaotic annihilation is basically he replaces his normal attack with an insane 270% hit on one enemy, and that damage spreads to 5 enemies on top of that. So 20% of that 270%, which will be 54%, will spread to 5 nearby enemies as well. Yeah, and this has a 25% chance, right? So 25% chance to have that. So let's say we have exactly 25%. Every 4th hit will be that. And then we have a 120% scaling attack. Every 4th hit will be 270. Now we will have a basic attack scaling of 157.5% damage. Yeah. Now let's go take a look how much that scaling is when he's below 30%. If he has a 50% chance to get that, it's basically he has a 1 auto hit hitting for 120%, followed up by an auto hit hitting for Can I click it? There we go. 270% equals to 390% divided by 2. This equals to having an auto hit multiplier of his attack from 195% on his auto hit if he's below 30% HP. 195% on his auto hit if you included annihilation, okay? And that's just the talent. We're getting there, guys. We're getting there. Oh, yeah. He seems to be the most egoistic, self-centered unit in the game. I love it, man. He seems to be... If he gets going, he gets going hard, you know? I think Praetus will be still the king of the game, honestly. I think Praetus is disgusting, needs to be nerfed. No question, no doubt about it. Like, Praetus is ridiculous because because of his range, right? And that's the good thing here about Valderon, is that his range stays at 2 tiles, which I like a lot, because this way he's still not able to be used in any kind of content, right? Because 2 tiles has its negative sides, right? You have a lot of units that deal AoE damage. For example, the mages deal AoE damage, right? Then there's the tanks that are coming in chapter 9 of campaign that also deal AoE damage. So he can be hit. Because he only has 2 tiles of range, but he will also counter that, don't worry. Well, let's just take a look at his ultimate now. Huh? Let's get a look at the juice. His ultimate. In his ultimate, he has one ultimate and a second ultimate, basically. Just like Uradin, he can overcharge his ultimate and therefore get 2 stacks. So if he only charges his ult once, he gets this chaos vitality. And if he overcharges it to 200%, he gets 2 chaotic vitality. Now let's take a look what that chaotic vitality does. He loses 10% of current HP per second. Each stack increases attack by 25% and crit by 25%, so crit damage, stacking up to 2 times. So now if you scale that up, it will be a 40% increase, and if you max and if you are gonna ult when his ult is supercharged, he will get a 80% attack and crit damage increase. So he will he will increase his attack and crit damage by 80%. And on top of that, he will get vulnerability on top of that on the targets. He will just shred their defense on top of it. Just cause he can. Just cause, I guess. Just cause. Wow. Next up, guys. Next up is Chaos Incarnate. And this is basically a revive ability for him. Chaos Incarnate is when Karma the Fallen is less than 3 stacks, the hero can prevent an incoming fatal blow and restores 30% of his HP, gaining 1 stack of Karma the Fallen. So therefore you gain Karma the Fallen once you die. Basically, if he would die, he can be unkillable because he will get that Karma the Fallen debuff instead, which will reduce his attack and damage by 15%, stacking up to 3 times. Therefore, he can be unkillable 3 times. But he can counter that as well, guys. He can counter that as well. Upon death or retreat, each stack of Karma the Fallen increases revival time by 30%. And then here comes the juice. Each time the hero gains chaotic vitality, he will be protected from gaining Karma the Fallen within 3 seconds. This can be stacked up to 5 seconds. So basically, if you use your ultimate while you're dying, when you're about to die, he can prevent to get that debuff on himself anyways, right? Okay. And therefore, he can actually die when he has his 2 chaotic stacks up, basically, he can be unkillable, not only 3 times, but 3 times, and every time for when he ults, he gets rid of 1 Karma the Fallen, yeah? Not rid, but he will be protected from that negative passive. So basically he trades damage, yeah, Karma the Fallen. He will be unkillable, but in return for it, his attack and damage will be reduced, yeah? So it's a safety net that doesn't have to be triggered if you play it depending on the content, right? Then, when Chaotic Annihilation hits a target, restores 30 extra rage. When an ally on the battlefield dies, restores 20% rage, which will be huge because of his ultimate, right? Because of his ultimate. Because his ultimate, first up, has a high cost and you can overcharge it. Therefore, to overcharge it, to get the 80% increase, you need a lot of rage. You need a lot of rage, and he gets a lot of rage. Basically, if you have a below 30% HP, let's just say you have below 30% HP, every second attack will give you 30 rage back. Now, if we go take a look at his interval, you can easily get this attack speed to 1.5 seconds, let's say. Probably even higher, if way lower if you have great gear, but 1.5 seconds. So every 3 seconds, he will get 30 rage back. Not pretty decent. And then if you use a Cerberus, if you use the Aatrox on the battlefield, he will restore a lot of rage on top of that as well. And then with the skill ups, it's even more, right? It's even more. And yeah, I mean, 6k attack. And now before we even get into the Awakening, guys, let's summarize real quick. So we have a 60% damage increase and another 30% damage increase, plus another 15% damage increase, and a 80% attack increase, 80% crit damage increase, and an auto hit that can deal 270% damage every second auto hit. This is just the numbers that we're getting through here. This is the numbers that we're talking about here. Yeah, this is the numbers we're talking about. Next up, his awakenings, and his awakenings are wild. When deployed, gains 1 stack of chaotic vitality. So when he deploys, he immediately has basically his ultimate up, without you needing to use his ult, so you can easily overcharge it to get to the double stacked ultimate. And therefore he will increase his attack 25% and crit damage 25%. Skilled up, it is 40%. Ay. That's something. A2 increases faction allies damage by another 5%. Pretty nice. Oy. Where are we going, Moonton? Where are we going with this, Moonton? During Chaotic Vitality, the hero's attack ignores 50% of the target's defense. Now let me read that again. So during his best scenario, yeah, 80% attack increase, he will ignore 50% of the defense, and on top of that, guys, he will also put up debuffs on the enemies that already reduces their defense on 20%, and then on top of that he will also ignore 50% of that 80% defense that is less. When is it stopping? Oy. Okay. Another 8% penetration, because why not? And then A5, when Chaotic Annihilation is triggered, increases attack speed by 130 for 5 seconds. So basically a consistent 130 attack speed increase if you're low life. Yeah. Okay, Moonton. Interesting, but he looks so cool. He looks so cool. He looks so unique. His kit is such a selfish kit from reading it. It looks so selfish. He looks so self-centered that I think he's actually going to be an awesome unit. I think Praetus is just his versatility is too broken. I think if you want to use Valderon or Valderon, you gotta build your team around him, and then he will be turbo strong. But you can't just put him anywhere. Like, you have to at least think what you're doing, because he can kill himself, because he can be killed, because he only has 2 range, and he won't be killing Gire 2 from Narnia, right? So that's nice. I love that design, not gonna lie. I want him. I'm not gonna pull for Twin Fiend. I have 50k blood on the guild boss anyways. Let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think of Valderon? Oh my god. He looks amazing. And yeah, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe. It will increase your summoning luck and maybe even get you a Valderon as soon as he comes out in global servers. Other than that, I'm Ronaldo. Stay tuned and I'm out. Peace.